Air France is sitting on a large order of Airbus A220-300s to replace its A318s and A319s. However, the jury is still out on what aircraft will replace its larger narrow-bodies, the A320 and A321. Speaking at a conference at the end of November, CEO Ben Smith said that an A220 stretch would be ideal, but that if it was not forthcoming, the company might even consider the 737 MAX. The plan today is that Air France has 114 narrow-body aircraft, all in the A320 family. We've got the entire range of the Airbus narrow-body fleet. We've placed orders for 60 A220s, so that's about half of the narrow-body fleet. And we'll make a decision on which type's going to replace the other half of our narrow-body fleet. Air France is a long-time Airbus customer and does indeed fly every model of the plane maker's A320 family. It currently operates 18 A318s, 33 A319s, 44 A320s and 20 A321s. Interestingly, it has not yet taken any of the Neo variant, with only the original CO versions flying. While the replacements for the smaller narrow bodies are in place, the airline still needs to make a decision on what will replace the rest of its A320 CO family. 64 A320 and A321s are flying for Air France, with the former having an average age of 11 years and the latter 18 years. Smith said that an A220 stretch would make sense for the replacement, but admitted that he would consider looking outside of Airbus if one was not forthcoming. If Airbus decides to make a larger version of the A220, that could make sense. Of course, now that the MAX is flying again, we could look at that. And of course, there's always the A321, the LR and the XLR. While Air France has a quote-unquote very Airbus flavour to its fleet, it hasn't always been the case. Over the years, it had operated Boeing 737s, split between the -200, -300 and the -500. The last of the type left the fleet in 2007. It's interesting to think Air France could consider going back to the 737 now that the MAX is back in the skies. It would be an interesting point of leverage between the two manufacturers on pricing if the airline approached both for an offer. While the A320neo and A321neo would seem to be ideal replacements for the aging narrow bodies at Air France, the attraction of the A220 stretch is not lost on Smith. It's not the first time that the airline has been noted to show interest in a larger version of the A220. In August of 2019, Smith said that Air France would be keen on an A220-500 if announced. Again, at its investors briefing last year, the Air France KLM group noted it was studying an A220-500. However, despite interest from Air France and other airlines, Airbus is yet to formally launch a stretch of its popular narrow-body. With the clock ticking on Air France's fleet replacement, Airbus could lose out to Boeing if it doesn't make its move soon. Should Air France get their 737 MAX? Let us know in the comments. Did you know that we publish over 175 stories every single week on simpleflying.com? Be sure to check the link in the description for more great stories just like this. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe before you go.